Hey everybody, I'm going to sort of hold this space for a second while you all are logging on and checking in. Erin is having some tech challenges, which happens. It's the joy, it's reminding me to make sure that I do sort of a pre-check with everybody before they lead a service or a workshop, especially if it's been a while. So I'm just checking a couple of things for him while you all are jumping on. And sorry, that was my phone being thrown. I scared my bunny half to death. Let's try a couple of other passwords.
Sorry, O. You okay, buddy? Yeah, I know.
So if you all are, let me know in the chat room if you've got me on. And we'll take a couple of minutes to really go through, we'll spend a few minutes talking about the practice of counting the Omer and how to use it as a spiritual practice. And again, let me know if you've got me in the chat room. Excellent. Hi everyone, I'm back. So definitely a reminder for me as we go through. Poor Aaron, he hasn't led anything in a little while, and I didn't just send him the standard checklist I send everybody else, which is do this, get this, use the passwords, do your pre-check, all of that. So it's always a little stressful when you forget to, on my end, if I forget to send people a checklist, and then it gets left on them to think of the right questions to ask, which people don't always think of, which is understandable. So let's take a couple of minutes. Take a deep breath. And just think about the idea of Mitzrayim, the narrow places, and think about the journey between here and where we're going next, right? So there's Passover, great, and that sends us out into the desert, right? And then we're in the desert, and we're wandering in the desert for a while, and then what happens? So what's the next holiday, chat room, that we're hitting? So we had Passover, and then what comes after Passover? What's our next holiday? I can tell you, but that's all right. All right, so as you're thinking about that, it's Passover, we wander in the desert. Yep, thank you, Hanamira. So next is Shavuot, right? It's the revelation, it's Sinai. Like we might get birthed as a people at Passover, then we're wandering through the desert, Sinai, Shavuot, right? That is where we take on the covenant. That's where we actually become a people. If you think about the Torah portions that are the wanderings in the desert, it's the grumblings, right? Yay, we got out of Egypt. Woo! Food sucks in the desert. Oh no. Oh, what are we going to eat? There's not enough water. Moses, do something. Fix it. Oh, maybe we should have just stayed in Egypt. It's so much better. And then we get to Sinai, right? So we have this wandering in the desert and the counting of the Omer. And if, those of you who know this, pop in the chat room with the details you know. But an Omer is a measure of, I want to say barley. I'm afraid I'm saying that wrong. But yeah, it's a measure of barley, right? Sorry, I was always afraid when I'm going to get that wrong. So it's a measure of barley, and it was part of the barley offering. And remember that a lot of our holidays have the rabbinic layer, but they also actually have an older agrarian layer on top of it. Passover is a mixture of a lamb festival and a wheat festival. And the Omer is the time of the barley harvest. So they were giving offerings of barley in the temple. So literally counting the Omer is the counting of each of the barley offerings. During the time of the high of the Kabbalistic movement, which I want to say, and please correct me in the chat room if I get this wrong, is I want to say the 15th century Safed Kabbalists. Hold on, Kabbalists. Gotta check that. When is that date? 16th century? I think it's the 16th century. No, 12th and 13th. Ooh, okay. 12th and 13th century, starting in southern France and Spain, and then eventually, 16th century is Ottoman, Palestine, and in Safed. And they really developed the core mystical concepts of the Kabbalah. And they took the Omer into a whole new space. And this whole idea of the Omer as spiritual practice. And it is something that was out of practice for a really long time, except within ultra-Orthodox communities, and has become much more common in other denominations and movements in the last, I want to say, 30 years. Really, that makes sense since the 60s. And the idea of Judaism as spiritual practice. So, when we look at it, when you look at the spiritual practice of it, they use the Sephirot, the emanations of the Holy One. Let me check in the chat room. How many of you have familiarity with the idea of the Sephirot and the Kabbalistic tree of life? Kabbalistic tree of life. So with the Kabbalistic tree of life, what they did is they took the idea of the unity of the Godhead, but then said, well, it's more complicated than that, right? They really built a lot of these things out. And so out of the Ein Sof, that concept of Ein Sof, the pool of everythingness that is undifferentiated, to get from that to humanity probably takes a few steps along the way, right? So you have Keter, which is over your head. It maps to the human body too, like chakras actually. So there's Keter that's over your head. That is the highest level of it. And that doesn't get counted in the Omer, right? Because that is the untouchable Godhead way up here somewhere, the crown. So the idea is that over, it's in Shavuot, right, is the Feast of Weeks. So 7 times 7, 49. So we go through the Sfirot over the next 7 weeks, and we look at what we look at is many of the Sefirot, and hold on, let me grab, oh, actually right here on this page, here's a link for you all. So this list of Jewish Kabbalists, wow, that just like expanded in the chat room like crazy, has the Sefirot, right? And we start with Chesed, actually. So we're doing the lower rungs. We're not doing Chochmah and Bina, which is still way up at the top. We're doing the lower rungs of the tree of life with the counting of the Omer. And each week has a Sefirot that is its core Sefirot for the week, Sephirah for the week. And then it's like layering it over or through as a practice. Each day of the week, you look at one within the other. That's actually the way you say it, shebe, right, within. So the first day, which was yesterday of the Omer, you do chesed shebe chesed, loving kindness within loving kindness. And it's a day to explore, what does that mean? The second day is strength within loving kindness. And I would say those are the way I've understood the shortening of Sefirah. So Gevira, strength within loving kindness. What does it mean to be strong within loving kindness? The third day this week is compassion or beauty, tiferet, depending on who's translating it. It's translated as beauty, but beauty is often seen, and I heard this today actually, as glamour. So it's physical beauty, and that's not what this means. It means like deep, true beauty or compassion within loving kindness. Endurance within loving kindness, glory within loving kindness, connection within loving kindness, and then majesty or rootedness, Shekhinah or Malchuth, which is the bottom, the earthly layer of the Sefirot within loving kindness. So the way that I think about this is that each day we try to think of, what does this mean to us in that day? Excuse me, my nose is itchy. So each day you explore what the idea with one Sephirah within another triggers for you. How is strength, Gevurah, within loving kindness different than loving kindness within strength, Gevurah, when we get to that week? And what I recommend as a starting practice is to keep a journal. List out each of the days and just see what that means, what it means to you. What does it bubble up for you? And there are so many ways that you can approach this. Everything from, Chabad, of course, has their way of looking at it. One that I really love is Neo Chassid's website. Has really beautiful resources on it. And he just has some amazing, amazing practices. And ways to look at it. And it's, again, everyone looks at it through their own personal lens in each week. So I will be posting to the OneShul Facebook page a guide for this each week, and it's going to start on the blog, but there's ways to kind of look at each of these. There's a visual that goes with it, actually created by my friend Angela Raincatcher, who isn't Jewish, but she works with the Sefirot, which is very common actually. There's also a plant-based Omer calendar that you can look at. I love that one. And of course, Adele mentioned I have to go find the site. I know it, but I'm forgetting the name. The Meaningful Life Center has really beautiful resources as well. So a lot of things to think about and that you can work with there. And there are so many Omer calendars that are out there. So let's take a couple of minutes and get out of our heads. And we'll just spend another couple of minutes on this. But let's move out of our heads for a minute. And into our bodies. And just get your seat on solid, your feet on the ground. Take 2 or 3 deep breaths. Drop into yourself a little bit. Try to quiet your mind just a skosh. Just come to a place of just calm relaxation. And bring your attention to the idea, the feeling, the place in your body where you experience chesed, loving kindness. Don't worry about what it's supposed to mean. Just let the idea of chesed, loving kindness, wash over you. Place it in your body. Maybe later look at, not now, but later, look at where the Kabbalists placed it in your body. But where do you place chesed in your body? Where do you feel it? And now let's just flow through the first week of the Omer for a minute. So the first day is loving kindness within loving kindness. Let that wash over you for a moment. See, feel, imagine what loving kindness within loving kindness means. What kind of a reaction does it have on your body? And then we're going to let it drift. Let yourself stay in that sense of chesed, loving kindness. But we're going to bring in a new sensation now. Strength within loving kindness. So find where that place of strength, or imagine that place of strength in your body. Where is Gevurah in your body? And then what happens when it moves into loving kindness? What does that mean for you? How does that make you feel? What reaction does it have in your body? Just take a moment to be aware of it. Don't judge whatever you're thinking or feeling. And if you're just sort of flowing with this and not feeling it, it's okay. That's where you can use your imagination a little bit. And if you work better from your intellect, kick your intellect in. It's okay. So in that space of strength within loving kindness the second day. Now let strength move out. So you're just feeling chesed again, loving kindness in your body. And we're going to bring in a new sensation, endurance, eternity, netzach, right? So we're going to bring that sensation in. Find where that experience is in your body. And then let it move into chesed. So netzach shebe chesed. What does that feel like? Endurance and loving kindness. And just take note of what that experience is for you, what it brings to mind, what it brings in your body. And then let netzach flow back out to its place. Bring yourself back to the sense of, the imagining of chesed in your body, loving kindness. And we're going to move to hod, glory, within loving kindness. So first, what does glory, hod, mean to you? Where is it in your body? What experience is it bringing? What are you imagining? What are you thinking? What are you smelling? What are you seeing? And then let that flow into that place of chesed, loving kindness, hod shebe chesed. Bring it into your body. What happens to it when it encounters chesed? Take note of it, imagine it, think about it, turn it over, and then let hod flow out and bring yourself back to that center chesed, loving kindness again. And then we're moving to connection, yesod. So find that place of connection in your body. Where does yesod live in your body? There's no right or wrong. Different people, different groups have their own ideas, but today all we care about is where you feel it, where you think it, where you experience it. So place that in your body. Where is the place of connection within you? Where is yesod? And then bring that into connection with chesed, loving kindness. How is it transformed? How is it illuminated? How is chesed illuminated and transformed? How is yesod, connection, transformed by being within chesed? Imagine it, think it, feel it, see it, smell it, divine it. Take note of it. And then let it float away. And then last but not least, when you come back just to that place of chesed, we're going to go into Malchut, considered by some Shekhinah. Its majesty, it's the earth, its rootedness. It's however you understand that idea of kingship, of Shekhinah. And then let it flow through into chesed. See what the experience is for you. What is the experience of Malchut, of majesty, of earthliness, of this plane within loving kindness, chesed? And let Malchut go back to its place in your body. And bring your attention, your imagination, your mind's eye back to loving kindness, chesed. And take 3 deep breaths. And if your eyes have been closed, open them again, and we'll wrap up in the chat room a little bit. So that is one of so many exercises you can do each week around the Sfirot. For the counting of the Omer, you can do one piece each day and see what that feels like, just taking the few minutes to place the Sphira of the week in your body, and then what is the one of the day, and put it inside of it and see what that does for you and what that feels like and what that experience is like for you. Oh, again, that's one very simple practice within it to explore it, and there's so many of them. And here I mentioned Pauline. Oh, that website doesn't work anymore. That's too bad. I was hoping that, oh no, that's too bad. That link doesn't work. The Pauline Frankenberg's plant-based Omer. So you can do meditative practices, and Aaron's gonna send me the outline of what his plan was for the night, so you all can enjoy that later, which will be fabulous. I forgot about this one. There's a great website called Omer Harvest that has so many beautiful practices that you can explore for counting the Omer. If you're less of a meditative person and more of a physical practice person, then there are so many types of physical Omer counters that you can use to click off each of the days and see what it means to you. I've always wanted to do it with lights and colored lights to put the sefirot into each other and see what happens. So before we sign off, since it's been, many of us have been online now for quite a while tonight, any thoughts, questions, reflections, insights about counting of the Omer, either directly from the exercise or just in general with practices? And if not, if anyone has a recommendation of a chant that we could do to close this out, please let me know. I'm trying to think of one now. Hebcal, such a simple site, but it's a great one. A fabulous way to know which day of the Omer we're on. Remember, a new day starts at sundown. So when you look at the calendar, keep an eye on that. It's probably going to be off by a day if you're not making that adjustment. Ooh, my nose itches again. Oh, let's see. 8 chants from, of course, Rabbi Shefa Gold. Oh, beautiful. Okay. Well, let's do Shefa Gold recommends her Ashrei. Oh, we could do Ma'ariva. That's a great idea. So why don't we close with using Shefa's Ashrei. I'll do it as best as I can. She's so specific in what she does, so I'll do it as best I can with you all. But these are fabulous. I'm totally going to use these chants during the Omer this year. Okay. So the words are just Ashrei, Yoshvei, Vetecha, Od Yahalalucha, Selah. Okay, here I can post that for you right there. I love the Homer calendar too, Andrea. It's hysterical. All right, so this is the chant that Rabbi Shefa Gold recommends for the Chesed chant. And that could be a really fun practice because you could do the Chesed chant and flow it into another chant or vice versa. So these could be really fun to play with. Ashrei Yoshvei Veitecha Od Yahalalucha Od Yahalalucha Od Yahalalucha do that a couple more times. Ashrei Yoshvei Veitecha Ori Hallelujah Ori Hallelujah Ori Hallelujah Ashrei Yoshvei Veitecha Ori Hallelujah Ori Hallelujah Ori Hallelujah Ashrei Yoshvei Veitecha Ori Hallelujah Ori Hallelujah Ori Hallelujah. Let's do it once with feminine God language and then finish again in the masculine God language. Ashrei Yoshvei Veitecha Ori Hallelujah Ori Hallelujah Ori Hallelujah Ashrei Yoshvei Veitecha Ori Hallelujah Ori Hallelujah Ori Hallelujah. Thank you for being here tonight. I'm so sorry that Aaron wasn't able to be here to lead the beautiful meditation he had planned. With any luck, we'll be able to have him back over the next 7 weeks to lead you through all of that. I think we shared some great resources in the chat room for the Omer and a couple of practices. Hopefully get you started a bit on Omer as a practice this year. So Laila Tov to you all, and I hope to see you all again here soon. Have a good night.